Well, hello everyone and welcome to another Warframe video. So this video is the third in the series of augment mods, and for today's video we will be focusing on Ivara and her augment mod Infiltrate. Now Infiltrate is quite unique amongst augment mods in that unlike other mods, it doesn't focus its attention on battle support. Instead, it supports Ivara in the area of stealth, and in fact it makes her perfect for those pesky spy missions that many people often find very frustrating to do. Now Ivara, as you may know, is a multi-talented frame with many of her abilities focused in the area of archery. However, she's also one of the three main frames that has some unique invisibility and stealth capabilities similar to that of Ashe and Loki. Ivara's third ability, Prowl, renders her invisible in the game and gives her the ability to pickpocket enemies, do stealth kills, and move through mission maps without being detected by the enemy. Now, as useful as Prowl is, it does have its limitations. Ivara can't remain invisible if she starts running in the game. Similarly, if she does a bullet jump or a slide, she will become visible. And as much as she is invisible to all the enemy players, she is susceptible and can become visible to some of the energy barriers that are found in many of the game missions. This of course severely handicaps Ivara's Prowl during spy missions because for many spy missions it is often the security devices that are harder to pass than the enemy, and this is especially so if Ivara is unable to run and only able to move at her walking speed. And so this brings us to Infiltrate, and what Infiltrate does is it provides Ivara with the ability to move at 25% faster walking speed than she normally does under Prowl. But more importantly, it gives the ability for Ivara to become completely invisible to all those security barriers that are found in the various spy missions in the game. And so this ability to make her undetectable to the security devices makes her the ideal frame for taking on those pesky spy missions. Now, as you may know, aside from the higher level enemies, higher level spy missions such as the one in Oceanum and Pluto have more difficult security devices and more security devices that you have to overcome, and so Infiltrate with Ivara becomes very good even at the higher level, more difficult spy missions, since her Infiltrate makes her invisible to those highly complex security devices. Now, for anybody who has taken Ivara to spy missions and cast Prowl, they would know that for these sorts of security devices, Prowl is adequate and she won't be detectable by these security devices. These aren't the problematic systems. Now the problem arises when you have laser barriers such as the one in front, and although I know that most people won't just go casually walking through one, I'm going to do so just to make a point and to show what would happen and the limitations of Prowl if you try to cross any of these laser barrier beams. So as you can see, the alarm gets triggered, you still remain invisible, but now you're into a time crunch to try to get the data before it gets destroyed. Now, if we were to put on Infiltrate to Ivara, then she could go to the same situation, and as you can see, she could pass through all those laser barriers without being noticed. And what that does is it gives you a little bit more leisure time to hack into the security devices, and of course with lousy hacking skills like I have, you need all the time you can get. So as you know, as you go up in more difficult spy missions, you will have more complex barriers. But it doesn't really matter how complex the barriers become because since Ivara with Infiltrate is invisible to them, no matter how complex the barrier structure becomes, she could still pass through them. Now for the Grineer mission, since you're in similar sorts of situations, Infiltrate can help you out here as well. So not only does the mod make you or Ivara invisible to the security devices, it also makes her invisible to these barrier walls. So instead of having to find creative ways of entering the area, you could just go through the front door. Now one thing Infiltrate won't help you on is terrible hacking skills like mine. So there, you're on your own. Now with regards to where to get Infiltrate, since it is an augment mod, it is only available through certain factions in the game. And in this case, the two factions that have it are Cephalon Suda and the Perrin Sequence. Now for Cephalon Suda, you have to have a rank of Genius or higher to be able to get this mod. And for the Perrin Sequence, you have to have a rank of Partner or higher to be able to do the same thing. Now for me, since I am not in either of these factions, I got mine through the traders market. So as with any of these other augment mods, you don't really have to be in that specific faction to be able to get the mod. So in summary, if you were the type of player who always found spy missions to be frustrating, especially because of those pesky security devices and security barriers, then Infiltrate may be a very useful mod for you. Now, for the people who find the spy missions challenging and find that they can do it with their own skill, then Infiltrate probably is not the most useful mod, and in many ways it may actually ruin the enjoyment of the game. So you can decide which way you fall into, and if you find that Infiltrate would be something useful, then maybe you could look into seeing if you could get it for Ivara. Okay, so this concludes this video on the Augment Mod Infiltrate. I hope you found the video to be informative, and I thank you as always for watching the video. It's always a pleasure to make these videos for you, and if you have any comments, please post them in the comment section below. We wish you all the best as always, and as always, Jaya, nice day everyone.